Halloween Eve always held a special place in our hearts, particularly this year, as it coincided with my cousin's birthday. The excitement was palpable as my entire family prepared to celebrate at my uncle and aunt's spacious house. Our family was large and gatherings like these were loud, vibrant, and filled with an array of emotions. My uncle and aunt, parents to several of my beloved cousins, always ensured that there was no shortage of entertainment. From team games to hide and seek, the possibilities for fun seemed endless in their sprawling home. Among the many intriguing aspects of my uncle's house, one stood out distinctly: he was the proud owner of a wax figure museum. Interestingly, he stored his outdated and discarded wax figures in one of the basement rooms, a fact that added a layer of mystery and anticipation to our exploration. The basement, dimly lit by flickering mercury lamps, housed about 20 wax figures. They ranged from humorous to downright bizarre, with some missing heads or limbs, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Many were shrouded in white sheets, tied at the limbs with rope, resembling ghostly figures in a macabre tableau. My uncle justified this odd collection by explaining that they served as unconventional targets for his high-pressure air rifle shooting practice. As the hide-and-seek game unfolded, my excitement was tinged with a hint of apprehension as I chose the basement's wax figure room for my hiding spot. The room, with its uneven lighting casting long, distorted shadows, seemed to transform before my eyes into a stage for the uncanny. The figures, some comical and others grotesque, stood in silent judgment, their features obscured by the dim, flickering light. I weaved between the figures, each step echoing unnervingly in the cramped space. The air was thick, heavy with the scent of old wax and the faint, musty odor of decay. In a moment of what I thought was brilliance, I decided to blend in with the bizarre tableau. I carefully lifted the sheet from one of the less menacing figures, draping it over myself. The fabric was cool and slightly damp, clinging to my skin as I nestled among the waxen ghosts, my heart pounding in the eerie silence. The weight under the sheet was both thrilling and suffocating. Time seemed to stretch and warp in the darkness, the only sounds my own shallow breaths and the distant, muffled noises of my siblings playing above. I felt isolated, cut off from the world of light and laughter, surrounded by figures that seemed to grow more menacing with each passing moment. Suddenly, the game's distant sound ceased, replaced by the unmistakable noise of footsteps and laughter as my brother was found in the main basement area. Relief washed over me, knowing the game was winding down, yet I remained motionless, unwilling to break the spell just yet. After what felt like an eternity, the basement fell silent once more, the brief interlude of noise from the main area fading away as everyone retreated upstairs. I remained hidden, the weight of the sheet now feeling like a shroud, my initial excitement giving way to a creeping sense of unease. The air seemed to grow colder, the silence more oppressive, as if the figures around me were holding their breath, waiting for something to unfold. Suddenly, I heard footsteps again in the basement. One of my cousins called out, announcing it was time to gather in the backyard for a feast. Realizing the game was indeed over, and I finally left my hiding place, I wanted to scream with joy. I was so scared in there. My heart still racing from the adrenaline of the game, I made my way back to the room of wax figures to rectify my earlier oversight, returning the sheet to its rightful place. The basement, now devoid of the playful shrieks and laughter that had filled it moments ago, felt eerily silent, as if it were holding on to a secret yet to be revealed. As I approached the spot where I had borrowed the sheet, a chilling sight brought me to an abrupt halt. Tucked away behind the other figures was one I hadn't noticed before, shrouded in a sheet that seemed to tremble ever so slightly. My initial thought was that another player had found an ingenious hiding spot, yet the game had ended, and everyone was supposed to be upstairs. Compelled by a mix of curiosity and dread, I stared, frozen, as the realization dawned on me that this was no longer a part of our innocent game. The sheet appeared to rise and fall with a rhythmic cadence, like the breath of something living. The dim light flickered, casting an otherworldly glow on the scene, enhancing the surreal horror of it. The musty air of the basement, once just a benign background scent, now carried an unsettling odor of raw meat and boiled eggs, adding a visceral layer to the growing terror. My mind raced through the possibilities. Could one of my cousins have doubled back to scare me? Yet, the silence that answered my hesitant calls was more terrifying than any response. The longer I stared, the more the figure seemed to sway, as though it were gently rocking. Each second stretched into eternity as I stood there, paralyzed, the chilling tableau etching itself into my memory. Finally, the instinct to flee overpowered everything else. I backed away slowly, my gaze locked on the figure until the very last moment, when I turned and ran, the sound of my own frantic footsteps echoing off the walls. The desire to scream, to warn others, was there, but my voice was trapped in my throat, stifled by an overwhelming fear that any sound might awaken the thing that lay beneath the sheet. Once I had regained some semblance of composure, I confided in my uncle about the terrifying encounter. The police were promptly called, but a thorough search of the basement revealed nothing. The mysterious figure had vanished, leaving behind only the crumpled sheet on the floor. Speculation ran rampant. Was it a vagrant seeking shelter, a criminal hiding from the law, or something far more sinister? The incident remained shrouded in mystery, as all our guests were accounted for at the party, leaving us to ponder the true nature of my uninvited companion. That Halloween Eve, what began as a joyous family gathering morphed into a haunting memory that would linger long after the festivities had ended. The experience in the basement, amidst my uncle's eerie collection, taught me that sometimes the line between fun and fear is perilously thin, and that some mysteries are best left unsolved. This true basement horror story remains a chilling reminder of the unexpected encounters that can lurk in the shadows, waiting to transform an ordinary game of hide and seek into a tale of terror. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with new videos.